skill level 5 or video 5, we're going to look at the lofting tool for this one. Lofting allows you to make a complex 3D shape that I guess changes its cross section or its angle along its length. So normally if you use extrude, you just end up with the same cross section all the way through. With revolve, you get the same cross section but spun around an axis. With lofting, you can actually change the cross section, and what I mean is the shape from one end to the other, with a very clever way of working. So as you can see, this starts as a circle in that orientation at that end and ends up looking like this. So if you were trying to model like a propeller blade or some kind of organic vase shape or bodywork for a car or the profile of an aircraft wing or something complex that changes in multiple different dimensions at once, this would be the way to do it. So go and make yourself a new part. I'm just going to pause the video and get that set up. Okay, so remember, yeah, you want to go, you can click part here, file new part, or you can click that new and get the same window and click part. So make yourself a new part. And when it loads, you'll be presented with this. You need to make sure you're on the features tab, and we're going to start by making work planes, and basically a work plane is like a place to draw in 3D space. Think of it like a desk, if you will, that you draw your sketches on. But rather than having one desk, we're going to make a series of different desks in different places in 3D space. So go to reference geometry, come down and choose plane. Now this bit's not obvious because you can't appear to do anything. You have to click this little black arrow up here and choose one of your work planes to start from. I'm going to choose a front plane, so I'm just going to click it, and you'll see this appears. If you just click the arrow, you'll see you can drag, or well, you should be able to drag. Anyway, it doesn't matter much. I'm just going to click my tick anyway to start, and the reason I'm doing that is because that has now created a visible work plane for me to start from. That's one of my drawing spaces. I'm now going to make another 3 of them, but spaced away from this. So I'm going to go, right, reference geometry, plane. This time it's a bit easier. You can click on a plane you've already made, and here you'll see you've got an offset. So I'm going to make this one 250 away from that one, and just click the tick. And you'll see now, if I spin my view around by holding the middle mouse button in, apologies for the lag, but my computer's struggling, I've got 2 places I can draw separated by 250 millimeters. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more, and I'm going to draw one 250 mil away from this. So same thing, reference geometry, plane, click on the last one you did. It's already set to 250, so we'll leave it. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same again and make a 4th work plane, and you can do as many of these as you like. When you get more advanced, there we go, so we've done that, 250. You can even make them at different angles if you wish. I'm not going to get into that here because it's a little bit more complicated, but basically you're making yourself 4 places you can draw. Okay. The next bit is really simple. You then just draw the shapes you want to join up, and I'm going to let you kind of experiment on this. I would advise don't make them too complex, but I would say make them different sizes and varied, so you can kind of exaggerate the effect. And then your challenge is basically to do this with 4 or more planes and upload an image of the cool lofted shape you make. You could even try and shell it out afterwards, although that doesn't work. So anyway, got your 4 work planes. We're now going to make 4 different sketches. So we go to the sketch tab, and I'm going to start with plane 1 because that makes sense. Plane 1, I'm just going to draw a circle. So I'm going to get a circle tool, and I know I've got these other ones have appeared now. I'm going to click on plane 1, and it should rotate my view round to it, and I'm just going to draw me a circle. I'm deliberately going to draw it from the origin because I know that origin point. Sorry, I don't know what's happening. Oh, there we go. Sorry, circle tool. There we go. So I'm going to draw my circle. I'm doing it from the origin, and you'll see why, because the origin will line up with the origin on plane 2 and plane 3 and 4. So if I wanted it to have one common center, if you like, that would be the way to do it. So I've done a circle. I'm going to click tick, or the arrow over here, sorry, that's all I want for that first sketch. And then on my next one, I'm going to draw an ellipse. So I'm going to go up and go here, get the ellipse tool. I'm going to click on plane 2. Actually, sorry, it wants to draw it on plane. Sorry, I do apologise. I'm going to press escape. I didn't click this properly, so there we go. Right, you need to get back so you're at this stage, right? So make sure you've clicked that tick properly. I didn't. Right, I'm going to draw an ellipse now, and I'm going to draw it on plane 2. Again, my view should adjust, and I'm going to draw my ellipse starting from the center, origin again. It'll look like a circle at first, and the ellipse will be at whatever angle this middle dotted line is pointing at. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Click again. There we go, and if I click a third time, I can change the size of my ellipse. So I'm going to do that. Looks a bit like Saturn at the moment. Right, I'm done with this tool, so I click the tick. This is why it didn't finish last time. Now I click the return arrow. And if I rotate my view, you'll see I've got 2 shapes, circle and ellipse. I'm going to do a hexagon on the third one. Mental, I know. So hexagon. Sorry, apologise. I think I needed to click that one more time. There we go. That's better. All right, hexagon on plane 3. Again, I'm going to share the same centre, but you don't have to. I'm going to make my hexagon a little bit smaller, actually, just like that. Click the tick or the arrow. Okay, that's fine. Rotate your view around. Right, and then let's do a slot tool for the last one, just so we've got a mashup. I'm going to draw that. I don't know why it keeps doing it on the same one. For some reason, I think there must be a slight bug in Solidworks. So for some reason you have to start drawing and then click the arrow to go back. I hope I'm making some sense. Alright, now I can select this and draw the slot tool on it. So I'm going to click on that to start drawing. From the center. Oh, this one's a little bit offset. Doesn't matter. Okay, that's fine. Click that to go back. And rotate your view around. Good. All right, so anyway, that's all you really need to do. Create your 4 interesting shapes. And here's where the magic happens. Go to feature. And this time we're doing a lofted boss base. Right, what you need to tell it are the profiles you're going to use. So this basically means it's saying choose the sketches you want in the order you want to join them up. So I'm going to go over here and click on plane 1. It won't do anything at the moment, but add it to the list. I'm then going to click plane 2. And you'll see that's already started to stitch those 2 together in the only way it could do. I'm going to pick plane 3. There we go. And you see that's looking even more interesting now. We've gone circle to ellipse to hexagon. So of course it's quite a dramatic change. And then obviously click 4 and you're into your final shape. Okay, click the tick. There we go. And now we've made a wacky organic shape that blends from circle to ellipse to hexagon to slot. Now these work planes will now annoy you because they ruin your view. You can hide them quite easily. If you go over here, you can see your 4 work planes. You can either hide them individually by right clicking and ticking the little eye. That'll make them go invisible. Or you can hold down shift and select 3 of them and then choose the eye to get rid of them that way. Okay, there you go. Make me an interesting shape. You can try experimenting with shelling that out as well if you want, like the previous video, so I'm just going to attempt that now. Bear in mind you will only be able to get away with a very thin shell, so let's click shell, click on here, click preview. Basically the rule of thumb is if it shows up in the preview, it's likely to do it. Now you can see shelling this out has obviously confused the hell out of my computer because it's on the verge of crashing. Let's see if it can suss it out. Right, it can't handle 10 mil, but it hasn't crashed. I'm going to take it down to 2 mil. Just click and see if that has any effect. Now the reason it might not shell out, oh there we go, it looks possible, yeah, is because it's quite a tight corner there. I'm going to see if I can push it up to 4. Let's see if, can you handle it? Yeah, looks like we'll get away with that. So click the tick. Oh no, yeah. So if you get an error like that, it doesn't like it. I'm going to try taking it back to 2, see if we can get away with it. It doesn't always work if your shape is difficult, but as you can see, by combining tools, no, it's not going to happen for us. But if yours is not quite as an extreme a case as mine is, you should have a decent chance of shelling it out. And then, oh no, it did work. It just decided it wanted an error. Okay, so compare yourself to lesson 1 where you just learn how to make a basic extrusion, and now look at what you can achieve. You can make a really complex 3D hollow object with multiple different directions, angles, shapes. Now I know that would be useless for anything other than if you wanted some kind of modern art vase that would constantly fall over, but hopefully you can see the potential of this for creating shapes and products that you might need to in the future virtually. And obviously with 3D printing, we can print these things out instantly, well not instantly, but pretty quickly, and evaluate them and test them and build on them. Okay, so that's it. Do your own interesting cool shell. You don't have to copy my idea at all. Just play around with it. You know, what happens if you were to I don't know, loft a load of different squares just rotated slightly. It's easy. Oh, and one other thing you can do, I'm just going to delete the shell because I know it's going to give it going to cause grief if I leave it. You can always go back and tweak these. So if I go into Loft 1 and find any one of my sketches, say I wanted it a bit wider in the middle, so I've opened the Loft, go to Sketch 3, there we go, let's make this guy bigger. Okay, click my tick, and because this is parametric modeling, give it a second, there we go. You see it's just adapted its lofting to accommodate the new size hexagon I've put in. I'm not sure it's made it any more useful, but do play around and make something cool. And upload the picture to your OneNote.